Hello, my name is Robert Reckowsky, and this is my CGT game audio final project. So at the start of our game, we start off with just kind of a very basic um, not a loading screen, but kind of like an intro theme. So this is kind of a letter um, to the main character named Nathan from his wife Amanda. This kind of showcases the very beginning of kind of like the struggles that they've gone through. She's obviously been sick, and she's obviously passed away, as the letter talks about. She tells him to visit Zodiac Hills National Park, where they had visited, and they continue visited. And then, of course, 10 years ago, she asked to marry him. She leaves him a picture, which is kind of the background overall, with kind of a gazebo kind of a style with like a heart in it, and like some trees and all that type of stuff. And that's kind of where the player must go first. So that's kind of where it dictates. Read the letter. You get here. You go here. Click E. You cannot open up the gate at this point. So then you're allowed to kind of move here. Player is given two options to go to, either this way or this way. This pathway does not lead to anything except for like some branches that the player steps and they'll break, and overall allows the player to kind of view the overall surrounding area. So there's a kind of a park bench here, some water. They can kind of see, there's an area over there they can go visit. Um, there's a big cross over here, which may have significance later, and there's kind of a big middle area with another heart in it that'll kind of signify that might be another place the player should go to. Again, there's nothing over here, so from here we're just going to go down this way, and we'll go back the way we came. Again, as you're walking, you'll click on branches, they'll make little noises here and there. And here the player will give it another two pathways to go to. This pathway leads to nothing but a big audio sound, which is like a tree crashing down. Um, and overall, this is kind of just a like little tent, bonfire area, a backpack, and kind of just a little campgrounds area. Again, there's nothing over here though, besides just some audio and some overall aesthetic pleasing stuff. From here, the player will go up this way, and from here you'll see that they'll pass over the bridge, and and the player can finally view the very first area they're supposed to go to. So this is the gazebo, and as the player makes his way here, you can kind of see, um, ocean river or the lake river, sorry, just some kind of foresty areas, and the player gets closer to it. The player can collect it, and then you'll get another mention here. Again, to my darling Nathan, if you're reading this, you must have made it to Zodiac Hills, and more importantly, the gazebo that you're supposed to be in. And it kind of gives like a little joke here about nervous when he got on the knee. Um, talks about memories, talks about the long journey it was for both of us, and then you talk about the cross, how they have to go to, and she wishes you to travel there. And then again, sincerely from her, so it kind of gives you a view of this, so you kind of know exactly where you're supposed to go. If the player looks out here, they can see it. And then, of course, this is obviously the pathway here. So the player can take kind of the built-in road here, which has little grass compared to everywhere else, and the player can move this way. Um, and here, the player can just continue to follow the path. They'll be clicking on stepping on sticks often while they walk through here and while they walk through the forest, especially. And overall, they'll get to this, which is kind of just a little pathway they can take up here, which will lead up into the mountainside. And this pathway basically just leads to another memory for the player. So there it is. This is the memory for this one, and it kind of talks about their love of God, how they were able to have their first child named Braden, and then it kind of talks about more about that type of stuff, and then you get to the last line, which is the next little more difficult, which kind of showcases that as the game progresses, it'll get more and more sad. And this says, "This will be a smile and where you must go next. Believe me, this will be worth it." Again, so it kind of showcases that the next area is that little island that the player saw there, or when they get to that next area. So the player can continue to walk this way. And as you look over, they can see the island there. So the player can just make his or her way down this way. And this should lead to a diverging path. Yep. Since we know we're going this way for it, and you can actually see a heart over there, that's what we'll take. But this path will be used more for the ending part of the game, but I wanted to keep it there so the player knew that there's a path here, but they know they have to go this way first. So the player can make their way over the small little islands with bridges that'll lead them to the next memory. And this memory is kind of the one where you start to see like the more of the sadness going on. You realize that his wife had cancer, how angry he was that he couldn't do nothing to help her. She thanked him for like the jokes and all that type of stuff and making things easier. And then it kind of showcases that the next picture will depict on the shoreline opposite the island, and they should travel there next. So again, we'll as you make your way this way, you can kind of see that shoreline there. And as you get closer to it, it's even easier to tell this is the way, especially when you get to this one, which is basically where the picture was taken at. So the player can make his way another path this way, kind of lighter trees, and you'll get to this, which is the next memory, and you'll kind of see a park bench. And this kind of is where, um, Nathan will have told his son, they'll hear about that, about the issue, having it witness it, the really kind of the sadness and kind of the depression of this whole situation that the characters are going through. And then it kind of discusses, the last letters in the old campgrounds where our son and we spent nights together on the campfire, truly peaceful and happy. So it kind of showcases this is where they're supposed to go next. So you leave the letter. At this point, it's probably expected that the players should be going um, back this way because there's no campground over there. So it's probably better to go this way next. More park benches are kind of scattered around and all that stuff. So as the player makes his way this way, you get over to the next ravine kind of area. And there'll be one last like true pathway the player really hasn't explored yet, and this will be this way over here. And this will lead to the campgrounds. So there's kind of some more tents, some more backpacks, another big campfire, a table, and then this, which this will kind of discuss um, kind of the memories that they had spent together and all that type of stuff, really kind of summing up the overall story, um, overall the beliefs and how the husband had made the wife feel happy and make the last days not so hard. Um, and then it'll kind of say for PS after all that kind of information, it'll say I left one last picture of a gorgeous view, and then I also gave you a key on the table. And then she says for me, so it's like a go there for me. So you can see that's where the player did not go because they went this way to the actual middle of the island instead of going this way. So you can leave the letter, press E on the key, and you get a small little sound that'll kind of dictate it. And now the player can actually go this way and open up this gate. Click E, get another sound that'll open it, and the player can make his way back to the final area. I do have a sprint key that'll kind of make things go a little bit faster as well. So the player can just make his way, follow the pathways. You'll kind of run through a lot of the old memories. You'll see the gazebo. You'll see the cross again as you're moving. You can get back to this pathway. You hear the flowing water. You'll hear the very light music. You'll hear the ambient sounds. You're kind of making your way over here. You hear some more twigs snapping as you step on them or as you walk. And overall, you make it finally to the very last area, which when you get to it, the game will end. And that is the game. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.